Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jourdy bringing you a new video. So I know y'all gonna make fun of me because I'm Body and Robe Chronicles, but please spare me a little bit, okay? I have a good reason for this. Today we're getting ready to walk through and do a bit of behind the scenes / day in the life of being an esports host and esports talent, I guess you should say, in COVID. So it's 8:34 right now. I'm actually a little bit behind, but we are getting ready to do Championship Sunday for the Gears 5 Winter Major. I'm so excited about it. I'm looking forward to a great day. I hope you guys are excited, looking forward to the video. Make sure you like the video, comment down below what esports have you been watching. See you guys back here very, very soon. Alright, you guys, so we're actually in my computer at this point, not the vlog camera, but I did want to show you guys. I know it looks like there's a lot going on here, and I will definitely explain, but basically when you're in call time for this event, every event is definitely going to be different. I hop in Discord. We have a Discord server for the Gears Winter Major. It has everything we need here, but basically for call time you just need to be in the server ready to go if anything happens. Well, somewhat ready to go. But another thing that I do want to show you guys though is a little bit about how they pull in our cameras. So that goes back to OBS. So in OBS they have this incredible service called virtual camera. So I'm just gonna switch my virtual camera on for OBS. So now I'm here in OBS with my virtual camera. Hey y'all. So basically here I have full control over my camera. I make sure the settings are good, my lighting is good. Obviously my lights are off right now, but all of this stuff is going to be brought in through vMix. So we talk to each other on Discord, and that's how we hear each other for the audio, but the video and everything is pulled through vMix, which is a professional broadcast production service. Here you see on this left side, again, this is the program feed. This is what everyone at home, this is what you guys are watching, this is what you see. So I have my camera and my mic off, obviously. So when I click this button right here on, the production truck or room or wherever can actually see me. And that's how they'll pull in my video feed. That's how they link our video feeds. So when you see all three guys on the desk, that's how the videos are linked. This service is very essential to what we do and just everything.
This is the best Championship Sunday we have ever looked forward to in or maybe even a very long time, maybe even ever. We have 4 Latin American teams, 4 American teams. We could not have written.
As you see the highlights here from this one, Fire and Ice versus Hive. Hive actually starts and looks pretty strong on map number 1. You see Zovios here. We talked about him as an X Factor, but Ribs, you're...
All right, you guys. So I was not able, unfortunately, to do an interview. Sometimes players don't have webcams and they don't have the equipment necessary to be able to do interviews, which is totally okay, but that is one of the challenges that we faced as esports talent and broadcast production on online events, obviously in the middle of a pandemic. But I did want to show you guys very quickly some more tips about what I do while I'm watching an event and a broadcast. As you can see on the top, I do use a notepad right under my webcam for all of my questions. So even though I didn't necessarily get an interview out of the first one, I'll still prepare questions that I would have asked. Right now, obviously we're in the middle of Ryzen UIU. You see them on the side. Don't have a full slate of questions quite yet because right now we're a little bit uncertain if we'll be able to get an interview with one of the teams. I won't say which, but obviously if we do get one, you'll see the interview in this vlog. Right here I'll have I'll have an open, like these two rosters are no strangers of one another. Obviously they face each other all the time. I also keep track of who won which map, the name of the map, and what the final round count was. So that's really, really important. And then if I hear some things, like the first question I ask is always directly related to the match. Obviously, we just hopped out of it. It's fresh in the guys' minds. The second one I ask is always related to something that one of the analysts said, one of the casters mentioned, just a little bit more of a color question to fill in some of, because honestly, the way it's presented to me, the play-by-play is sort of the black and white. So play-by-play is just what's happening, what's going on. Then you'll have a color person. The analyst desk is also color, so it's to fill in some of those gaps that aren't just black and white. So what we do is I try to ask a question that's going to take the broadcast to the next step, but also give a little bit more insight into who these players are as people and as humans, and why they're so passionate about gears, some of the work they've done, some of the experiences they've had. So I always sort of write down. So for example, for UIU, TJ Forrest has been a huge talking point this entire event. They've always talked about it. How will he feel in mental shoes? So if I have a chance to talk to either him, one of the players, one of his teammates, the coach, I want to ask about that, because obviously we haven't done an interview with UIU yet, but we also haven't done one with Rise. So one thing that they discussed on the desk, the analyst desk, is that Fran is such a great leader. We know Fran has been a pro in gears for many, many years, since its inception. So I want to talk to them about that, speak to that point, and just why he feels, well, I guess not why, but what makes him such a dynamic leader, and why is he so passionate about the game, in his own words, because everybody doesn't know the pros, you know, like we don't know everything there is about them just by watching them play, you know, so there's so much more to them as people, and I want to showcase that. And sometimes I'll ask a question about the next match. If the next match for them is not so exciting, then I'll ask a follow-up question to that initial question, whether that's about them as a team, working together, or maybe something about the tuning and how they've been able to adapt and improve on that, and map selection. So something to that nature. And then you always throw it back to break, or back to casters, or whatever your producer tells you to do.
The rest of the fellowship, because he's now rotated over to help his teammates out. He's still got M-bar. He's got one M-bar shot left in the chamber. 3 members of Rise are mounted up. They have to make sure that they get a kill, but Powers with another shot and another kill puts another one in the grave.
Oh, Kenny with the drop shot, though, looking dangerous. Gets one. Each one of these kills is just one more nail in the coffin.
No.
Is he doing what he can, but he
Powers
cleaned up.
Over. Game over, PR. Powers gets that next kill down to 225. It's going to drop all the way to 10 seconds. Rise has to fly with wings of an angel. They have to make hell and chaos rain down, but it's them down on the overlook. Less than 3 seconds. Nobody to decap the home of UIU. And once again, UIU shuts down and puts Rise out of its misery and out of the tournament. They win map number 3, 5-4.
What an interesting round number 9.
Play by play, Powers and Franchise trading off, and honestly, what 2 better players from each team to really battle it out. You spoke about the history of Franchise picking up Powers from birth, raising him as his own, but like I said, the student today
That
has
right
become
there.
the master. We know how great Powers is, but
That match was seriously insane. Okay, UIU just took out Rise. I don't think we're gonna have an interview, unfortunately, but that map 3 was incredible. Holy smokes, oh my god. Okay, you guys, so I'm not exactly sure how long this PK and VQ matchup is going to go. I will 100% have an interview though, thankfully. So it's been a lot of waiting today. And sometimes that happens, you know, sometimes it's technical difficulties that happen on stage. Sometimes, again, like I said, players just don't have the equipment. So I have been doing quite a bit of waiting today, but after this matchup, we will for sure have an interview. So yeah, I will have also, I didn't mention it, a Q&A segment at the end of this video. People have been submitting to me questions about what life is like as an interviewer and a broadcaster in esports. So I'm excited to answer those. So make sure you stick around till the end so you can see all the content. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I've got my very first interview at last today. I'm gonna film it from this side on this camera, but it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a little edgy. They want a little edge, so I gotta give them a little edge. But yeah, so we're going to get it. It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna post a whole interview, so I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited too, and I'll see you soon. Welcome back to the Gears Esports Winter Major. It was possibly the fastest match we've had to date on the broadcast. VQ just dominated over Pittsburgh Knights. And now I've got my guy Vital Sam back here on the broadcast with me. Yesterday you talked about how this team sort of picks up each other when you're down. You just, like I said, destroyed PK. Tell us why you're better than every other team here at this major.
To be honest, I think there's just a fire in us that everyone's lit for months on end. From the Challenger Series, we knew we shouldn't have been there. And from then on, we just been doubted, even by commentators, like Ribs, for example. He said that we wouldn't do it on the biggest stage. And we 2-0'd his team. We beat Rise. We literally 2-0'd them. Like, we beat them twice in the same tournament. No shade to them, though. They're a great team. But, like, that's just an example. Like, people been doubting us since day one. And we knew at the end of the day, when it came major time, we knew what we were going to do. And PK is just another team that doubted us, and we had to show them what's up.
Right, and you definitely did. It was an absolute bloodbath on their side of the battle. You guys were barely even touched. So How did you feel about that match and how the team performed? Obviously, it was so fantastic.
To be honest, it was a really personal match for all of us. It's PK. Like, we have, like, our fair history with PK ever since we became a roster. And even in the offseason when I got signed, they showed a lot of, like, disrespect towards me, calling me a 2v wager kid, 1v wager kid. And they were just being disrespectful. And I told Danny, I got dogs with me now. This is not going to be the same as any other event. Like, I got people that can shoot back. I got people just as good as me on my team. And it showed. We 10-1 them. And I think they know what's up now.
All right, and you said it. You got some dogs on your team. And one dog I want to talk about is Precision. We heard Reflection say it in the broadcast. He said he's just different. And others have mentioned that he is possibly one of the best in the game right now. As his teammate, how would you describe him?
That kid is just a natural gamer. He's one of those talents that, like, is generational. You can pick up any game, and he's super good at it. That kid is genuinely the best player in the game right now. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't. That kid is amazing at every game he touches, and he's just a goon. He's so good.
All right, Vital Sam, one last question. You're in the grand finals now. I want to know it. Who do you think is your biggest competition?
To be honest, I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. Our biggest competition is ourselves. I think as long as we're playing our best game and firing on all cylinders, we're unstoppable.
All right, unstoppable, simple as that. We will see them soon on the broadcast in grand finals. This team is really doing their thing. Vital, that was amazing. Thank you so much. That was so good. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Thank you. Good luck the rest of the way.
We won't find out this major.
All right, you guys. So I think I might have just wrapped up my last interview. I think I might have one more. We'll see. I'm not sure, but I just asked an interview question in Spanish. Welcome back to the Gears Esports Winter Major. PK just took down UYU in a very close match, but it ended 2-0 in PK's favor. Now, I've got the one and the only IDENTIVEZ joining me here on the broadcast. Welcome, IDENTIVEZ. This team is obviously very fired up after that last match against VQ. Now beating an equally angry UYU team. What went through your head after that VQ loss?
To be honest, we really weren't even prepared to that match. I feel like they really outplay us. Like, they play better. Like, they really deserve that win. But I mean, we're in grand finals now, so it's gonna be another chapter.
Right, and in that UYU match, going into it, how fired up were you guys? Talk to me about how you were feeling facing that UYU team.
I will say that that's just amazing. I swear, the vibes that we have as a team is just incredible. I will say that is probably the best vibes in the team. We just love each other so much. Like, we just play for each other so much, and being with these actually legends playing right now is just amazing. The game, to be honest, it feels more easier. we just gotta do our things and clutch up, to be honest.
Okay, and looking ahead to that match, how personal is that one for you guys? VQ has already mentioned that you doubted them. How personal is this upcoming match for you?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a disrespect, but I feel like a lot of players that are right now like playing this tournament, they don't even show up in LAN. Like, it's not disrespect to them, but it's just what it is, to be honest. But we right now in this, it's grand finals. We really don't care what happened. Like, that's really a good thing for us. Like, we really throw that thing away and we just focus on the next thing. So I think you guys clearly could see versus Uju right now. So we're just gonna push up. I mean, we have all the support right now, all the fan base in Mexico here with us. So we just gotta clutch up. I swear to God, like, it feels good.
Yes. And how badly, you said it feels good. How badly, tell me, how badly you want to win this, not just for the team, but also for the LATAM region?
The only championship that I won one time, it was with Ghost Gaming. So winning with my brothers, sería increíble. Yo creo que sería lo mejor.
All right. ¿Tienes un mensaje para los fans en Latinoamérica?
Claro, locos, pues como les digo siempre, y siempre se los he dicho, hermanos, aquí vamos a estar, nosotros aquí estamos. Es el momento nada más. Y pues yo realmente les quiero agradecer por su apoyo infinito, ya que se ha notado demasiado. Y en verdad se siente, locos. Así que no olviden que neta, vamos a darlo todo, vamos a dejarlo todo y vamos a jugarlo todo. Gracias por su apoyo, neta, es incondicionalmente. Y pues nada, bendecido como siempre les digo de tener a estas bestias al lado mío. Hay que meterle nada más.
Gracias, IDENTIVEZ. Vamos PK right now in the chat. We have got a heated grudge match between PK and VQ coming up in our grand finals of the Gears Esports Winter Major after this quick break. But yo, it felt so good, and it was with like my favorite player to interview. So I'm excited. I've been learning Spanish for those that don't know, but I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully the people enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it if y'all saw it. But we're gonna hop into the computer really quick. Okay, you guys, so we're here. We are in the master dock, right? And we are going to go ahead and take a look at the rundown, which is on this side of the computer, obviously. This is very, very important. If you are interested in being a broadcaster, you have to know how to read one of these. And if you don't, I suggest you study really, really fast and really, really quick. So one thing I learned in broadcasting school is that the rundown will be ever changing. The way the rundown works is there's segments, and they give you the times, what talent is involved, the name, the video, graphics, and the audio stuff. That's more for the back production truck. But the total time length is very important, and these names are very important to keep in mind of if you're a host and you are really in control of the show like Fallout is. So basically, I'll take you guys to my segment. My segments happen after the games are over, and basically I control the post-game interviews. So coming out of break, if people are introducing directly to me, things like that, then I have to know, okay, so I'm given about 3 minutes total time for my interviews, probably closer to 5 if the interview is going very well, or if the producer wants me to jump into break, they'll tell me that in my ear. So you have the introduction, probably a little bit less than 10 seconds. The interview, which is what you guys see on the front end, and then I have to throw it back to commercial, and then depending on what the rounds are, where you are, you have to jump to a certain part of this rundown. And that's why it's so important to know how to read it and really understand. So as we head into the final match of the day, the grand finals between PK and VQ, it is it's very important to follow this flow. We have 15 minutes total. I will have an interview here, but just overall, you want to make sure you know how to read a rundown. Different rundowns look different depending on the companies you work with, but for the most part, they all stick with this estimated time, total segment time. Some have gold, which is what's on screen, but for the most part, again, everything is just structured very well in the rundown. And if you ever get lost as to where we are in the show, you can always refer back to that as talent, and that's what the production team is always referring to. So I hope those tips help. We're going to get into some final reactions, final moments of the day on grand finals. I'm so excited for it. If you were team PK, team VQ, let me know in the chat below, and yeah, I'll be back. What is up, you guys? Welcome back. So it is officially over. The event is done. So much happened. It was so fun. Congratulations again to Vanquish. They took this first major of the new season. It was very exciting. It's totally different. This is my very first live event I've actually worked this year, and it was completely different from some of the ones that I did that were only pre-recorded and then again, like I said earlier, played on later. So I loved it. I had a blast. Our talent team is extremely talented, obviously talented, but no, in all seriousness, I had so much fun. I love working Gears events, and this one was absolutely no exception. Since I've started, it's always been the same 2 or 3 teams winning, and now we have a new team, so I'm excited to follow this season and see how these guys do. So with all that being said, I do want to jump into the Q&A portion of the video. I know that I dropped a message on my Fleet Instagram story and Discord, so if you're not following me on any of those channels, you definitely should be, for questions from some of my followers and supporters about working as an esports host and broadcaster. And so I want to answer those for you guys today. I'm so excited. I'm actually going to start with the Instagram. I think I only got about 5, which is totally fine. I know I dropped it at the last minute. I probably should have dropped it like a week earlier so I could actually got some questions, but it doesn't matter. 5 is perfect for the length of this video. So here we go. My very first question comes from Mr. Midas Games. What's been the biggest challenge of your career thus far? Wow, that's a great question to start off with. Okay. I would say that the biggest challenge I have faced is feeling confident enough to put myself out there. I think for me, it has been, you know, sometimes I think the word for it that people describe is imposter syndrome. And I have a lot of worry about, am I, you know, doing my best, like, at every point, at all the time. And so I think that has been the biggest hurdle that I've had to overcome. I feel like at this point in my career now, I've overcome it. I definitely dealt with a lot of it come February, especially because I was like, wow, you know, I finally got a regular opportunity to work some events, and then COVID, and it's like, whoop, well, now there's no events. So, you know, I think that was the biggest challenge for me that I've faced so far. Obviously, getting events is always a challenge because there's a lot of people trying to also do what you do. But, you know, I just stay focused on if I can put myself out there enough, put my content out there, my work out there in front of others, and hopefully somebody will notice it and maybe they'll know somebody else. Because I don't have an agency, I don't have anybody to represent me to fight those battles. So it's really all about me making sure I'm putting myself out there in the best light as often as I possibly can. And yeah, so I think that's probably been the biggest challenge so far. Sorry, you guys. Woo, I had to take off that robe. It was getting a little hot. Okay, so my second question is from Jordan F Live. Jordan, thank you. How are you liking it overall? So I I definitely love what I do. I love being able to interview players. I love being able to host events. I have this year had an opportunity to work on some amazing projects, and not just that are specifically focused on, you know, promoting the game and like the competition. Really some events that sit well and hit home for me, whether that's being a panelist, being a moderator, being a host, interviewer, whatever, they have been very important to me. So for example, I worked the Powers Up tournament, NBA 2K all women's tournament, about increasing representation for women and girls in the space, and that's very important to me. You know, obviously I just recently wrapped up my fundraiser for Stream the Halls, and I really want to see more women and girls in positions of gaming, not just professionally, but also on business, content creation, everything like that. So to me, that initiative is very important. I recently did an HBCU homecoming classic where Soulja Boy performed. We had HBCU students competing. A lot of students speak about being representatives and ambassadors for their universities. And, you know, we want to put HBCUs out in the forefront. As an HBCU alumna myself, that's very important to me. So, you know, these projects that I've had an opportunity to work on have been very special. I love what I'm able to do. It's not just about the game. A lot of times it's also about the message and the initiative, which I love more than anything else. So, you know, it's been great. It's been enjoyable and I love it. So I'm definitely enjoying my experience so far. My next question is from Fantasy, Soren Fantasy of Complexity. He's a GM at Complexity. He asked, is there any game you wouldn't take a job in? Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, I don't think, just off the top of my head, obviously, I'm sure there are probably some outlandish titles out there, but I don't think there's any job that I would decline or say no to. I think if anything, I would just tell someone, yeah, you know, I do need to improve. I definitely need to improve my my knowledge, my skills on it. You know, I don't have as much experience, but I'd still like to try. I've always wanted to get involved with it. Those type of things. So, you know, I don't think there's ever a game that I would say no to, because I do want my library of titles to be pretty large. It's expanding now. I've worked on fighting games, NBA 2K, obviously, Madden, now Gears consistently. I'd love to work on Call of Duty one day. I've interviewed some Halo players in the past. So I've done that. And, you know, I wouldn't say no to any challenge. I think my personal library of games is pretty diverse as well, so I have a lot of knowledge in different titles. My next question, oh my god, this one's funny, from Sneaky. Oh my gosh, you're a mess. Okay, he said, how do you look so good doing, obviously, broadcasting for 10 hours a day? Okay, obviously I wear makeup and I reapply throughout the day. I'm a little shiny right now, but that's actually a really funny question. I'm sure you meant it as a compliment, so thank you so much. But yeah, putting on makeup, just trying to keep the sweat levels low, reapplying and retouching, you know. But you know, you can't, you know, when you look good, you just look good, you know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just kidding. Thank you for the question. And then Hype Walshy said, what was your first oh my gosh. What was your first broadcast opportunity? So my first broadcast opportunity was actually in Gears. I worked the New Orleans Open. That major was my first event. I was the side station reporter and also open bracket reporter. So I got to walk around, ask questions, do sponsor interviews. that's sort of where I got my introduction into like on-camera broadcast work in esports. I had never done anything like that before other than in school, so I kind of jumped into the fire and just went for it. I actually got that opportunity by doing the contest that they held for an open contest for new talent for the scene, and that's where Colin and I, it was both our first times working an esports Gears event, and we've kind of been involved ever since. So it was definitely a great event. It got me my first start, and I was just so happy. I wanted to do such a good job, so I really focused on my work and making sure that I was, you know, articulating well, on time. You know, my clothing choice back then I think was a little sketch looking back, but I had one good outfit, that red dress, but everything else was kind of sketch. But but yeah, that was my very first opportunity, and I really loved it. I enjoyed it so much. The Gears fam was so welcoming to me, most of the players and the staff, the talent. So I have been in the scene and working in esports a little bit before that, but definitely ever since that event, it was only the beginning for me. And I thank Rose and Blaze so much all the time for giving me a chance, because I probably wouldn't be where I'm at if they didn't take a chance on a college student at Northwestern. So yeah, that was it. But thank you all for those questions. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. That's actually going to wrap it up here. If you did enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. What did you think about the Gears Esports Winter Major event? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, you guys, I will see you in the next one. Also, make sure you check out some of my other videos up here. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.